This is our army. This is our fight. This is our ring. And it's Survivor Series. Know what you're getting into.
I've been waiting.
What's up, THUNDERDOME? It's a Yeti. I'm here. I got a super secret special guest. He's a vet like me, a dude that I've come to respect and enjoy, and I love listening to his podcast. I'm happy that he gets to hang out here tonight. JP Flakes. So let's bring him in. What's up, Mike from the Chaos Theory? Like I said, we have to give you a handle. We need to work on this.
Yeah, I'm down. You said, what'd you say, Mr. Chaos earlier?
I think it's Mr. Chaos from now on. I think
that works for me.
So again, you'll find us at the number 3 Irish Boys with a Z. Again, that's at the number 3 Irish Boys with a Z. You can find us anywhere podcasts are available. Please do us a favor. Subscribe, rate, and do me the same thing. I have yet to do it for Chaos Theory, and I'm the same thing. I owe boot to the face and apology. I still haven't. So any podcast you guys listen to, take the chance to go out there, like, subscribe, folks. Just give it a what's up. So Robert Denmore, hey JP, Griffin, and Josh. Look at JP. JP looks way better. So there's a boys for boot to the face.
What's up, boot to the face?
What's up, guys?
RJ.
I'm glad you guys are here. We got the wheel ready to go. Mad Dog's here, but again, recording the podcast live. Again, we're going to release this every week. We release this Free Fig Friday. Wrestling News Source full press coverage, as you'll see labeled all over our video when we do this. We've been fortunate enough to be asked to also stream The Masked Wrestler, and that goes to about 500,000 people on the Facebook page for Wrestling News Source, as well as Twitter. So if you guys haven't, do me a favor, hashtag Masked Wrestler. I've been told that there's some pretty cool people that are going to show up. I mean, Chris Tatlander's already there hanging out. But dude, Free Fig Friday. Hold on. Everybody's here for the fig, right? I mean, that's it. Like Rhonda, here she is.
Hell yeah. God damn, they even got the makeup on her eyes and everything.
Oh yeah, dude. I mean,
that's fucking sick.
My lighting's pretty. I need to work on my lighting here and stuff, but that's pretty sick, right? I mean, it's the same. Cool beans, right? So
hell yeah.
All you people that actually download our pod, this is hard, man. Like this is, if you realize video wise what it takes for somebody to take their time out of their day to sit down and watch two dudes talk about wrestling for an hour, like that's a lot. That's an investment. It is.
Fuck yeah, dude. It takes, man. You know, if you guys haven't seen this, the Talkamania is starting to do this FPC Fridays, where we'll all get together and just talk on Zoom and then broadcast it through like Twitch and shit like that. We usually get together about 30-45 minutes early so we can do sound checks and levels, and it's a whole lot of investment for just an hour of content that people are like, oh Jesus, why does it take so long to get my favorite podcast? It's because we have to edit everything.
What's up, Miss Lori Prescott Denmore and husband Robert? How are you guys? So dude, what have you been watching? What have you been talking about? Like what's high on your list when it comes to pro wrestling?
Thunder Rosa is probably my favorite thing in wrestling right now.
Why?
She's a legit badass, man. Like, so my podcast, I usually do like a kind of a retrospective look back on old school wrestling. I don't really cover new wrestling, but one day I was just looking on the internet for a match of the week, and I found this match that she did with Ivelisse from like 5 years ago, and it was just the fucking shit. I mean, it was hard hitting.
Was it Lucha Underground stuff, or was
it was Booker T's Reality of Wrestling stuff?
ROW, dude.
Yes.
Rex Andrews area down there. Yes, sir. Yes,
sir. So I found this match and I watched it. It was only about a 20-minute match, and then I had to watch another Thunder Rosa match. Then I went back and watched her as Cobra Moon from Lucha Underground. Then watching the AEW match she had with Hikaru Shida, like she is by far my favorite female wrestler and probably in the last 10 years.
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So this dude right here, Josh
Mhm.
Briggs. So he's like, I know I talked about Anthony Green signing and how huge that was just for like us as podcast friends, kind of like Swerve and Montezi a little bit,
Yep.
where it's just a dude that we've known this kid since he was 14 years old. Like JP has seen this kid go from putting rings together to refereeing to training to becoming like one of the biggest stars in the Northeast and now being on 205 Live tonight. And this is like, if when people are listening right now, and most of the people that listen to our podcast will know, there's an Easter egg in almost every single one of our episodes, no matter who we talk to or who we interview, where we mention Anthony Green's name.
I'm not really watching a whole lot of mainstream.
Neither do I, dude. Neither do I.
Well, and I'm not watching a whole lot of indies right now. I'm really in this headspace of going back and watching old wrestling. So, like my next episode, you guys are gonna kind of get a sneak peek of what it's gonna be about. I'm gonna do my favorite 10 tag teams of all time. So I'm gonna do it in two parts. I'm gonna do my 10 favorite male tag teams and then my 10 favorite female tag teams of all time. And a lot of it is from like the Attitude Era and WCW Nitro, and then some TNA Impact stuff, like first run TNA shit.
If you need help, like I'm a graphics master, right? So if you want to do like a team of 64 and like really do this big time, like let me know and we'll put that shit together and you can have brackets. And because if you really think about this tag team wise, there's a lot of tag teams, man. There's a lot of tag teams you could put head to head that are new age now that could go against some old age stuff. Like, can you imagine New Age Outlaws and the Street Profits in the ring at the same time?
Jesus Christ. We were talking about Rucker had mentioned to me, or he and I had talked about FTR versus Legion of Doom.
We have to have the managers, right? Would you have to have Paul Ellering and Tully Blanchard along with them?
Absolutely.
Dude, that's goal. It's stuff like that, and I think you could legitimately come up with 64 names. I think you really
easy.
could tag teams pretty easy if you're
like Harlem Heat versus New Day.
Speaking of Harlem Heat, if you did you watch AEW? You haven't. Anyway, go to AEW a couple weeks ago when they cut FTR is in there. Not Dash. What's the other guy's name from FTR? Dang it, man.
Dax Harwood and Cash Wheeler.
Cash does a horrible spinneroonie. # Booker T. Horrible spinneroonie. I rewound it and I'm like, did he just try to do that? And he did, and it was bad. But yes, that's cool.
Yeah. Or like the Steiner brothers in their prime versus Team 3D versus the Dudleys.
Oh, look at RJ says Profits versus the Rockers. I'm cool with
that would be dope as shit. Midnight Express versus like
Rock and Roll Express.
Or let's go Midnight Express versus the Young Bucks.
Oh, dude.
There's so many matches you could do.
Let me ask you this, because I'm trios. I love trios. Do you think there's room for that? There's Chikara had that. So I guess this is a two-part question because we have never talked about this, and this is what I always ask people kind of when I get an interview them for the first time and they're independent wrestling. Like, I don't know, you just love it like I do. You're into it.
Hell yeah.
Dude, would you take the time, like tag belt wise, to put it on, I don't know, like the Usos? Look at this.
Usos versus Wild Samoans. Fuck yes. Absolutely.
So this is the kind of stuff like when you, because I'm a Twitter whore. Booker's like, we're just boot to the face. We're all Twitter whores. This is what we do. So the fact that you're doing this is cool, man. And this is my passion is the female side of it. So that's why, when I put that stuff out there, it changes. Like the fact that you have Toni Storm back now, Ember Moon's back. Like the list.
The other thing you could do is like a tournament versus all females. right? So think about Thunder Rosa versus Trish Stratus,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
or Lita versus Io Shirai. Like, holy Jesus Christ, the possibilities are endless, and that's what I love. That's why I kind of changed when I first started my podcast. It was like everybody else, boot to the face and Talkamania. What's up, boys? FPC boys and this motherfucker.
Absolutely.
Those guys do the kind of retrospective where they look back about what's going on currently, and they do it really, really well. So that's why I kind of changed into this. Like, my best episode to me is like 15. It's my Eddie Guerrero episode. And Eddie was, God damn it, I'll get emotional talking about him now. Eddie was that guy to me. Because he was just somebody that could take you on this roller coaster ride, right? He could take you the highest highs. He could make you hate him. He could make you love him. All of that shit.
Dude.
So that's what I'm kind of trying to do with the podcast now, is talk about, like, I do some interviews. I've interviewed Rucker. I've interviewed J-Bomb from Talkamania. There's a bunch of people that I have in mind. And actually, I'm trying to get Thunder Rosa on my podcast.
Yes. Yeah. Everybody in their dog right now. And that's the hard part, is because people still people forget she's still an NWA champion. Like, she's still toting a belt. And AEW After Dark, believe it or not, and what that offers to talent is exactly what makes I love it. Like, I love it. And the reason, like, I can't do Talkamania is I can't do the Trivia. The reason why is because when everybody else was watching WCW versus WWE and doing all of that, as that progressed, I got further into it, and I got into ROH and Combat Zone Wrestling, and I got into the ROH versus CZW feud more than I got into WCW versus WWE. Like, if you want to get into Claudio Castagnoli, and you want to get into Chris Hero, and you want to get into Los Ice Cremos, and you want to get into like all of that, I'll spend all day long talking to you about old school CZW, being on the phone with Drew Gulak, hanging out, talking with Maven Bentley and DJ Hyde and ROH guys all day long. But when it comes to that next level stuff, I was strictly a WWF guy. I grew up a WWF guy. I swore my allegiance to DX. It's emblazoned on my tattoo on my arm. Like,
Hell yeah.
I chose sides, and I was okay with that because I grew up a Hogan fan, and I didn't take it personal, but I was like, you know what? I'm choosing sides. And this was a punk kid, whatever, but I just couldn't do it. And that was I'm a mark. I'm a WWF mark. I always will be. I love the New Japan product. I love the AEW product. I love the guys that come from Beyond, that come from Limitless, that come from all of these independent promotions where they're groomed and new stars are born, where they show up on NXT and 205 Live. And that's what gets me going. That's why the Masked Wrestler is so cool for me, because Green Ant, which is a huge friend of ours, a huge friend of our show, and he's no longer going to be in the ring. But I mean, he's put some stuff together for some pretty cool people when it comes to masks, and he was the main guy putting this together for the masks. It's really cool, and I'm a mark for it. And I hope other people are, because it's a new school spin on some old school stuff.
See, what's cool is I didn't get exposed to independent wrestling when I was growing up. It was all either, I grew up in Virginia, so we had both. We had WCW and WWF, right? And ECW.
Oh, yeah,
I remember,
you were right there, man.
I remember staying up at 1 o'clock in the morning to watch ECW pay-per-views because my parents wouldn't be up. So I could watch, Kimona and fucking Beulah McGillicuddy have a thong match.
Right.
Shit like that. But what's cool now is I was on first generation TNA when Jeff Jarrett started it. And that I'm running into a lot of guys who didn't watch that shit. So I feel like this insider where I'm like, dude, you have to check out Christopher Daniels versus Samoa Joe versus AJ Styles in this triple threat 6-sided match. or old school like Abyss, when Abyss first came out and was just
Yeah.
murdering cats.
Yeah.
And now with AEW, like I would have never known who Private Party was. I would have never known who Hikaru Shida was. I would have never known who Orange Cassidy was. Even though I'm not his biggest fan, some of the shit that he's doing lately is kind of making me like,
I'm gonna
all right,
throw.
this-
I'm gonna throw something at you because we're not breaking news. You can find this on Google. You can Google it right now. If you want to find out everything you can about Orange Cassidy's in-ring appearance, go Google Fire Ant, because that's what he wrestled as a masked wrestler in Chikara. That will change every thought you had of why you hate Orange Cassidy, and you can see why the gimmick works. The fact that when somebody wants to shake his hand as a sign of respect in the ring after a match and he still gives them a limp wrist, I'm buying that shit all day long.
That's what your tag team partner JP had told me. He was like, dude, he was Fire Ant. And I knew Fire Ant just because I love watching goofy ass wrestling compilations on the internet of people doing these crazy ass moves.
Yep.
So when he told me that, I was like, okay, I have to give Orange Cassidy a chance because I loved Fire Ant on just from the YouTube videos that I watched. And now I went back the other day and rewatched that Mimosa whatever he had with Chris Jericho.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm such a hater because this match was so goddamn good.
The psychology involved. Now, Chris Jericho doesn't just take the average fucking Joe and put them and elevate them in that. He doesn't just do that. And the evidence by a 30th anniversary episode of Jericho being in the industry and the amount of people that respect and understand him, he's on the Taker level, people.
Yeah,
he is Undertaker level, and he really should be. I talk about this all the time when people always ask me, what's your Mount Rushmore? What's your Mount Rushmore? I keep one solid individual on there. It's not Jericho or Taker. It's always, for me, it's always going to be AJ Styles, because when you were talking about the original Impact, like the Asylum years, the original X Division match with the cables.
Ultimate X.
Then to the 6-sided ring, then to like Sting's arrival, Sting's appearance, to like all of that Impact. Kurt Angle, those were Kurt Angle's best years. That was when Kurt Angle was the king of the wrestling world. I can count on my hand how many times I've marked out in my life. When Kurt fucking Angle showed up in TNA, I marked the fuck out. Huge. Dude, and that was on pay-per-view. That didn't leak. That wasn't anywhere. He showed the fuck up.
That angle he did with Joe was insanity. When he came back, or when he debuted and headbutted Joe, and Joe's bleeding like a single bead of blood down his face, and Joe just gets up and
that was a legit headbutt.
Oh yeah.
Legit.
He fucking beat, man. So I met Kurt Angle at Fort Hood when I was stationed there, and he did an angle with Ken Kennedy where he talks about the soldier medal. I gave Kurt Angle that soldier medal.
No way.
Yep.
Dude, Kurt's friend on Facebook. We've interacted a couple times on Twitter. He is the most genuine human being, not to mention the shit that they went through between Kurt Angle, his wife, and Jeff Jarrett in that fucking whole horse shit scenario. Yeah. But like, he is a legitimate good human being. He's a gold fucking medalist, and he's from Pittsburgh. Like, come on.
With a broken freaking neck, as he likes to say. That guy, I mean, Kurt legit, dude, that's why I love going back. Like, this new era of wrestling, I'm not one of those idiots who are like, oh, this wrestling. I'm not, what's his name? Fucking racist ass Jim Cornette. That's not me. But I just don't get it. I don't have the same passion for newer wrestling as I do the old school wrestling. That's why my only title is a Big Eagle from the Attitude Era.
Yep.
And the next title belt I get is probably going to be the Dome Globe that Harley Race used to carry around that Nick Aldis has now.
Oh, yeah.
But, you know, you have to give guys credit. Like the Bullet Club, when the Bullet Club was really heavy popping, AJ Styles, Cody Hall, Carl Anderson, Luke Gallows, Tama Tonga, Bad Luck Fale, the Bucks, that for me got me started paying attention to the Japanese scene because I was an AJ Styles fan from TNA.
Yep.
When he came in and they beat up Fergal, when they beat up Prince Devitt.
Yeah, yeah.
I was like, oh, yes,
know
like the world is gonna see AJ.
Do you know who Fergal Devitt's first interview was on U.S. soil?
Would that be the Irish Whip?
It would be.
That kind of makes a little bit of sense. But yeah, that got me started, and now I'm to the point where I'm going back because, like I said, I did the Eddie Guerrero episode, and I found out he won a Best of the Super Juniors tournament.
Can I ask you a serious question?
Huh?
And I'm going to ask you a serious question. And this might get me some heat. Have you watched the episodes about Jericho? Or not Jericho, I apologize. But about Benoit. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Do you ever get the feeling that they were more than just friends? And not that that's bad or anything. I'm not downplaying and judging, and the reason I ask is because I've watched both with individuals that don't know anything about pro wrestling, and the first thing out of their mouth is, were they lovers?
I know, I get why they ask that, and the only reason that I say no to that is because you and I have been stationed with people people who get that, you get that bond with somebody that you would absolutely, if they died, you would lose your shit over.
You're going to war with them.
Yeah, exactly.
You're going to war with them.
And I think, Vicky, as much as people don't like her or whatever, Vicky made, in that episode, I talk about how thankful I am for Vicky, because I think Vicky gave Eddie 10 or 15 more years than he would have had on his own, right? She gave him a family. She gave him a reason to live. And, that's what those are the two reasons that I don't think that they were together, is because I know the bond that you can form with somebody that you feel like this is your brother. You're the same kind of person. And Vicky, like Eddie was so in love with that woman that those episodes, it was hard for me to watch the Chris Benoit episodes because of how big of an Eddie fan I am.
When did you fall in love with Eddie? Like, when did you know? When did you when did you buy into his character, what he had to offer, and what he was doing?
1997 Halloween Havoc versus Rey Mysterio Jr. I remember I was watching it with my grandma. So I'm half Puerto Rican.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
And my grandmother just connected, like that was her shit. Like I grew up, when I would watch her, it was Tito Santana, it was the Guerreros, it was AAA, it was CMLL, it was Mexican wrestling is what we watched, right?
Right.
And then in WCW, when he started feuding with Ray, that match in 1997, there's a spot where Ray goes to do a backflip DDT off the top rope. Eddie doesn't look back, but steps back half an inch to make sure that Mysterio can hit it perfectly. That moment made me absolutely forever be a fan of Eddie's, because to just have that ring awareness and realize, oh shit, he's not going to make it if I stay where I'm at. Boop. It's something that nobody else probably will ever notice. But to have that attention to detail, to care about somebody, so getting them over so much and pushing that, made me just be like, okay, this guy is the best in the world at what he does. He's just not getting a shot.
So 1996, right? I grew up in Montana. Everybody laughs at me, scoffs, haha, blah, 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 whatever, right? Guess what? I'm 2.5 hours from South Dakota. Largest bike rally in the world, right?
Sturgis. So
one of my, I'm bringing this up, well, kind of while you were talking, because it's one of my favorite promos, and I was legitimately, let's see here. So I would have been 21, and Sturgis, South Dakota. I'm there at Hog Wild, and these dudes are legitimately getting ready to cut this promo, and I'm feet from them. And this is like cell phones, whatever, blah, blah, blah. You have them, you don't have them, right? This is on Daily Motion. So this is, I'm going to make sure, hold on, let me, before I do this, because JP gives me a hard time all the time. So when I when I share these screens, right, JP always gives me this hard time, like, hey, make sure you do share audio, because if you don't share audio, it's not going to work. So I'm doing it again just to make sure when I share this, people can hear audio. If you can't hear it, then I'm really going to mess this up. But I'm going to try and put it at full screen here, and then you let me know if you can hear it.
Okay.
And you're now about 30 minutes away from wrestling history. We're going hog wild live from Sturgis, South Dakota. Call your cable operator. Still plenty of time for you to get hooked up for Hog Wild. And to commemorate this historic event, we've got some merchandise for you. As a matter of fact, the WCW Hog Wild t-shirt, the WCW Hog Wild denim vest, $29.95 for the t-shirt, $89.95 for the vest. Call the number on your screen, 1-800-WCW-8661. I'm joined by two of the greatest international wrestlers.
89.95.
Hog Wild. Rey Mysterio
95.
Jr., you will defend the WCW Cruiserweight title against
Look at the hair,
Ultimate
dude.
Dragon.
That's right. This is the first time.
Fuck yeah, that mullet was serious.
Listen to Ray's
all
voice.
my Latino fans, this belt is gonna stay on my waist, just like Eddie is gonna keep one of his.
All
He
right,
sounds
now
like
let's talk about
Dominic.
that. Eddie Guerrero,
Yeah.
some say your destiny is to become the U.S. heavyweight champion, and it comes today at Hog Wild, you and the Nature Boy Ric Flair.
All I want to say to Flair is last week he tried to make a statement with my nephew. You don't do that. And all you had to say about me in your interview was I was history. Well, that's right. There's going to be history made today. You're going to learn how to respect me and now how not to take me lightly. Well, Ric Flair, this is Hog Wild. That's right. It is Hog Wild. Because I'm going to go Hog Wild on you tonight.
Call your cable operator. Get hooked up. Hog Wild weekend.
Dude, how nervous did he sound during that promo?
Yeah, dude, I think he probably was only like 20 or 21 back then.
That's when I legit I fell in love with him. I did, man. And just because, like, when it was done and over with, I knew Ray. Like, I knew Ray a little just from TV, some pay-per-views. I knew of Eddie from Mexico a little bit. Black Mask, the man.
Mhm.
But boy, it just, for me, because you talk about him, he's a huge, like, he's one of the guys. Now, if you look at that promo and then you go to one of his promos later on in it's a total transformation. So I always keep it in perspective, is like, when I know I'm having a shitty day and it's like, hey, you know what? Eddie Guerrero cut that promo and he was nervous as shit. Everybody gets nervous. So, dude, it's just cool. It's nice to be able to talk about people's favorite wrestlers. And Eddie was one, like, and the only reason I asked that whole question as far as that is because I wanted to make sure, like, because I get that question all the time. I don't know if you do or not, but I get the question all the time. It's like, hey, do you think I'm like, no, and here's why. Is because serving in the military, like, you legitimately get to a point where the guy next to you is your brother. You would do anything you could do to help him and to keep him alive. And that's what Chris Benoit and Eddie had, unfortunately. And I don't know if they'll ever or if they have mentioned CTE and Benoit in the same sentence, but definitely brain deterioration has a lot to do with, I think, the depression, the way it went down, man.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, this dude was doing headbutts, like top rope headbutts, legit, since he started. Like,
Yeah.
I was watching him in ECW and New Japan. I since went back and watched it, but when I was watching ECW, it just looked like he legit was just smacking his head into the guy's shoulder. And I don't give a shit. Like, yes, you're not going head on head. You can't, because that would crack your fucking skull. But if you smack your head into somebody's chest for 20 plus years, of course you're going to get fucking concussions.
Yeah. Plus, you got to take into account ECW, and I would venture to guess that at least, I mean, the chair shots that these guys have taken to the head, not only chair shots, but kendo sticks, garbage
Steel
cans,
steps.
stop signs, like, yeah, steel steps, everything. And it doesn't go perfect every time. It doesn't go perfect every time. So I get it, dude. I don't know. So moving on, because it's 29. We got like it's 30 minutes in, right? So everybody gets anxious. This is the time where we start doing the whole Free Fig Friday should we spin this and like legitimately give this away?
Fuck yeah, let's do it.
I'm actually, so I'm going to share the audio again because that's for you, JP. I'm going to make sure that should I randomize this or should I just do it? Should I shuffle it or should I just do it?
Shuffle it.
Once?
One more time.
Okay. Let's see what we get here. This is for the Rousey, folks. And I don't know if you guys know or not, but Mr. Heyman's already talking about her coming back. So put that in your pocket and pistol and get ready. So should we spin this thing?
Let's spin it. Let's do it.
Are you hoping you're like Rucker and you win while you're on here? That was such horse shit. That was such horse shit.
That would be cool, but I'm not really a figure collector. I'm a belt collector.
Well, anyway,
which I should start collecting figures. It would be cheaper.
We're gonna change that right now. Do you like the Irish jig music that goes?
I do. It's funny.
Oh, is it staying at home? Oh, thank you, folks.
Timber Moon.
It's staying at home. It's staying at home. Babe, can we spin that again? She said yes.
All right.
What if she wins again?
Oh. They're going to start thinking you're throwing it for her.
Okay. So you saw me. I randomized it twice. Like, fine, Timber, I'll buy you your own. But can we just... Okay, I'm going to shuffle this. I'm not even going to... I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to shuffle a lot. I'm just going to shuffle, like, random. Timber's so pissed at me.
Damn it.
Oh, shit.
Damn you.
Hold on. I love you, but you cannot win this. Your name's on there, but I never thought you'd win, and I'll buy you one tomorrow.
Twice.
I'll let you buy or something.
Hold on. We should really hold on 1 second here. Hold on. Let's do this right. If we're really gonna do this, we're gonna spin this for at least 36 seconds.
That works for me.
36 seconds, right? Okay, 36 seconds. And if Timber wins again, I quit. But that means we have to listen to this thing. This is more random. Because if it's going to spin for 30, rather than JP had it on, what, 2.5? Okay, who's this? Who's going to win? Who's going to win? Marty? No, Ricky. The FPC boys are going to win a figure. Oh, the bell the bells. Ladies and gentlemen, bell the bells.
Bell the bells.
Bell the bells has just won. I don't know if you guys listen to that, but it's basically a female podcast. So thank you, Bell the Bells. Sorry, Timber. Maybe you'll get to be on Bell the Bells someday, and they'll let you have a figure too. Oh, now that we got that out of the way, back to the wrestle talk, right?
Hell yeah.
What? I think I'm still in trouble. I should have done a different figure, but have you I know you're not into figures, right? But Miss Elizabeth, she's pretty.
Oh yeah.
She's pretty high on your list, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Have you seen her fig? Like the latest one that they put out?
I'm trying to think. Somebody put it out on Twitter. I think I've seen it, but I haven't.
It's the dress.
Yeah, They could.
And here's the part. Like I'm okay. Like even if it's a shitty figure, right? Whatever. Okay, even if it's a bad figure. Here's the part that upsets me. That's all you got?
Yeah, as manager of the Mega Powers is where you go. Jesus Christ, somebody should be fired from fucking summarizing figures. God, Jesus.
See, and this is coming from somebody that doesn't collect. When I picked this up, I'm like, no, why would you do that to her?
Dude, man, you should completely erase the Mega Powers off that shit, because Fuck Hulk Hogan's racist fuck ass. Second off, she
Bubba the
single-handed.
Love Sponge. If you don't want to just base it on wrestling stuff, just Bubba the Love Sponge.
Yeah, oh fucking that guy. Ugh. But this woman basically made Mach different than everybody else because she was really the first full-time only valet. Like, she wasn't wrestling, she was just his manager. She has to be known as, to me, the greatest female manager of all time.
Sensational Sherry.
I think Miss Elizabeth means more
I agree.
because Sensational Sherry managed Macho Man and Harlem Heat and this guy and that guy. To me, it doesn't mean as much.
But you see why I threw that name out there, right?
Oh yeah,
Because
absolutely.
people are going to say, "What about Sensational Sherry?" But that was NWO stuff, right?
Sensational Sherry was dope, and she was cool and unique, but I just don't think she meant as much as Elizabeth. Elizabeth really only managed Mach. And then, dude, think about it. That reunion that they did on TV of Elizabeth and Mach was fucking insane. Sensational Sherry could leave a talent and come back, and it wouldn't mean anything. It just didn't. It didn't matter because Sherry was just another female manager. But Miss Elizabeth, I don't know, dude. Like it felt weird watching Macho Man without Miss Elizabeth. Like it felt like I was taking a piss on a Bible inside a church when Mach didn't have Elizabeth.
You felt dirty as fuck, didn't you?
Yeah, I felt blasphemous, bro.
You
like
felt dirty as fuck.
That macho madness with Gorgeous George and Medusa, like that was all horseshit.
Yeah,
Crap. His theme was amazing, but that whole period was fucking stupid.
So let's new school this a little bit because I know new school with old school. So have you watched at least a little bit of Montez Ford?
Oh, yeah. I watched him. So I'm if anything for new school, I'm an NXT mark. Heavy NXT mark.
Okay. So you're like me. It's like that's where the product is. That's where the cream of the crop, the best. That's where they go. That's where you get a class of 10 that come in NXT and 3 survive and maybe 1 or 2 make it, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's the hardest part about, for me, bringing up Anthony and Josh Briggs again, is like these kids are in the class at the same time and they're like brothers. They're like an Eddie Guerrero and they're like a Chris Benoit. Like they've had some real shitty times and gone through some stuff. I mean, Briggs and his hip, and I talk about his match with MDK, their matches together. So it's exciting for me to be able to be personally involved. Like Anthony's up on my wall as family. Like I have an autographed picture of him up on the wall as family, and it's just because he's been part of that wrestling family since he was a kid. And JP will tell you a story all day long about the day that him and little Anthony Green met. And hey, aren't you JP from the Irish Whip? That type of stuff. But from that point on, it was, I've never witnessed somebody say, I'm going to do that. And then they do it to this level, like it's a 205 live level right now, where Drew Gulak was 3 years ago, now on Raw type of stuff. That's what's so rewarding for me, and that's why I love independent wrestling. And I think that's so cool that you go back retrospectively and look at this type of stuff, because the psychology in the matches involved for me outweighs the amount of spots, false counts, and kickouts in today's wrestling.
Yeah. So I'll give you, this is how long with sort of indie wrestling that I go. I have, if I can ever get to Arizona to my mom's house, there are tapes of Chris Hero and CM Punk wrestling in Kentucky.
Yeah. You know, the first time I saw CM Punk, I was trading tapes, and I got an FIP tape. Florida International Pro, I believe. And it was inside of a fucking bar with maybe 12 people, and those 12 people were sitting on tables where it was just 2 chairs and a table in there. I mean, that's legitimately where it was at.
Yeah. So the first indie show I ever went to was a show when I was out in Maryland. And if anybody's ever listened to my podcast, episode 4, I talk about my one and only indie show. Was an indie promotion called Maryland Championship Wrestling. And I got to meet Roddy Strong, and I got to meet Homicide and Hernandez.
Dude, those are some of my favorite guys from TNA.
I got to meet Test. I got to meet Abyss. Look, if you're not watching independent wrestling and you're a wrestling fan, you're doing yourself a disservice. I don't keep up with it a whole lot now, but go back and look at Shikara. Go look at PWG. Go look at old school ROH. I'm talking when he was Brian Danielson.
DM me and I'll give you my username and password for IWTV.
Okay.
I'll give you full press's IWTV login account since we have a press account. And you can go back and watch like the Limitless stuff for me that Randy Carver does in Maine with Limitless. You're talking Ace Romero, Anthony Green, and Mac and MJF, that they built that from nothing. And Randy Carver building that as well. Plus you have Alex Price. And then I'm letting you in on this right now. We're dropping our interview with Katie Arquette probably next week, where we talk about her up and coming venture, what it's like with Uncle David, and now being part of that Limitless tradition, which involves Maxwell Jacob Friedman, Ace Romero and Impact, and Anthony Green, 205 Live and NXT, man. So that's pretty cool. I mean, that's when you talk about it, that's where this is at. There's feeder programs to every TV promotion, and if you don't realize that, then you're wrong.
Yeah, dude, I mean, think about it. Darby Allin is a guy, again, I'm not a huge fan of him, but he's done some crazy shit. He's done some inside shit, right?
Yeah.
Darby Allin is a guy 5 years ago nobody would have known because you didn't have this kind of platform. When Cody and the Bucks announced All Elite Wrestling, it was one of those things where I was like, okay, we'll see how long this lasts. But the fact that Cody, the son of Dusty Rhodes, wants to book and run his own shit, it is very, very promising to me. And then bringing the Bucks and bringing Omega, and you got a billionaire backing you financially, made it super promising. When they announced it, dude, I was on YouTube for like 5 hours watching that press conference when they announced. It's insane.
When you probably did you hear anything about the collective that happened this last weekend? Like
no,
Janelle's Spring Break, Back Label Pro, any of that, right?
I think it's on my Twitter stuff. I'm getting a lot of independent stuff right now.
Yeah, you get that, especially if you follow me, or if you follow the Irish Whip, you're gonna get that. I just want to say thanks for carrying the Irish Whip here on the video while I went and plugged in my computer that was about to die.
That would have been interesting.
It would have been all you. It would have been worth it. It would have been fun. Dude, there's so much opportunity right now that pro wrestling in the COVID era, the masked wrestler, like, it's making these guys think outside of the box. And we as pro wrestling fans get to experience that. And like, I'm literally in like 10 minutes, I'm going to shit. I need to find out what my call time is for SmackDown. I can't, like, you guys get to watch SmackDown live. I have to wait. So my phone, like on Friday nights, I can't, like, I have to put my phone away because I'm figuring out that, Jay and Roman are going at it. And I'm like, God damn it. So I can't.
No spoiler.
Yeah, I have to go there and I have to do the whole, so I could.
Yeah.
For those of you listening, we're making the facial expressions. If you haven't been on Thunderdome, it's Have you been on there yet? You want to talk about this real quick? Like, I'll tell you
Dude,
guys what it's like. I'll tell you
I'm
what
just a
Thunderdome is.
fan. I'm just a fan from the outside. Like some of these motherfuckers are doing some insane shit on Thunderdome. Like
Oh,
some of them are straight disrespectful, but some of them are fucking cool as fuck. Like
I bought this hockey mask, right? So for those of you that aren't watching live, there's this hockey mask, right? So I bought it, and I'm literally dry erasing like slap whatever his name is or retribution, and I'm doing it backwards. So when it shows up on there, right? So I do that, and I got it on there, and it shows up right
that's
there.
fucking amazing.
So I'm hanging out, and I kind of hope, like, can you imagine if like all of us just kind of geeked out one night and decided to get on there, and we decided to just wear hockey masks and be stupid retribution guy? We'd get banned, I'm sure.
Dude,
But-
see, I would just do it just to plug like Talkomania and Boot to the Face and Irish Whip. Like I would just have random posters that say @_ Talkomania. Just shit like that to plug my people, to plug my friends' shit on the Thunderdome.
JP said that, but I'm like, I already got kicked off once. Like, I don't want to. I don't want to get like, because my bonus daughter, Timber's daughter, is like, she likes to watch wrestling. Like, she's in that phase. Like, when I was a kid, like I couldn't. Is this real or fake? Like, where's the line? Like, oh my god, the Fiend. Why is he in there? What do you mean, let me in? Like that type of stuff. So she gets to still like sit down and listen to the producer tell her to do the ups and the downs and the cheers and how to react. But a lot of times she doesn't like respond to, like if she doesn't like him, she's like, nope, not gonna happen. So I would do that, but my old Twitter is gone. That had like, I can't rebuild that, and I've learned a very valuable lesson. Streaming on Periscope is very touchy when it comes to Twitch. So be very careful what you do, or you'll immediately lose your account.
Yeah. There's like we were broadcasting on Twitch with Talkomania last week, and we couldn't talk about the joint that I had smoked or was rolling. We couldn't talk about, half the shit. Like I couldn't say cocksucking asshole. Jay was like, calm down, they're gonna ban me. And I, it got to the point where it was like, this is why I don't need to be on Twitch. Because, dude, I talk like I was in the military. Like, everybody's a motherfucker or a cocksucker or something worse than that. And I smoke a fuck ton of weed. Like, I couldn't be on Twitch.
Can you explain to people and the reason why and we'll take, fuck it, it's our podcast. We've talked pro wrestling. I mean, can you tell, like, PTSD? Like, I'm not going to go into, but I mean, same here. I mean, I don't, I do, mine's medicinal, and there's a reason why I do it is because when you're in the military, you're taught to be a perfectionist. If you don't have this perfected, you will die.
Yep.
You will die. And it's beat into your head on a daily basis. And when we get out, we don't know how to deal with people that can't be perfectionists, or your boss tells you, man, you can't do that good of a job. It has to be less of a job. So don't do such a good job. Yeah. For us, what?
That's unacceptable. Yeah, no, I couldn't do that. Like, so just to give you guys kind of an inside thing, like I DM'd Yeti 30 minutes prior to this starting saying, hey, when should I jump in? That's the kind of obsessive military mind that I have, dude. If you're on time for something, you're late. You're fucking late.
Yeah, if you're not 15 minutes early, you're late.
Yeah, and for me, because I was an NCO, I want to be 15 minutes prior to the 15 minutes prior.
You gotta watch out for your boys, because if they're not there, you gotta be texting and calling and emailing. Otherwise, it's your ass on the line.
Yep. So for me, my wife and I have had struggles, and it's a lot of it is anger. A lot of it is.
Is it irritability? Is it more irritability? Like, what the fuck can't you fucking fuck? Like,
yes.
That's your head, right?
Yeah. Or if like, so I recently got into painting with acrylics and shit. And my wife loves my paintings, but to me, because they're not perfect, I'm fucking, God damn it, you stupid son of, like shit like that. So the weed just kind of takes me and it says, all right, this isn't perfect, but You're
It's
high
acceptable.
as fuck right now. Who gives a shit? And it has made my wife and I's relationship a million times better.
Can you? And this is how I explain it to people: is they're like, "Well, you smoke weed. Like, why are you getting high? Why?" I'm like, "No, here, let me explain this to you. I live on such a plane or a level of high security and high level of alertness, especially when it comes to me performing in my performance, whether it's at home as a dad, whether it's being a son, whether it's being an uncle, like I'm in 100% and I'm full bore 10 times, get ready, here we go."
Yep.
And I need that to make sure that I'm not shifting through gears, slamming stuff and trying to get there as fast as I can. I need to slow down, put it at 55 and enjoy the scenery. And I think that's the hardest thing for me to explain is like when I use the marijuana, as they say, or the weed, I can cruise and I can work at a normal civilian pace where if I fuck up, oh well.
Yeah.
Oh well.
We got a question in the chat from Taco Maniac 4444 wants to ask a question.
Go ahead, Taco Maniac. Dude,
That's a fucking dope ass name.
It is. Do you know I stole Talkomania's Twitch? Mine is at TikTokamania for TikTok, and I never use it. I need to give that to them. And I'm a bitch. I need to give it to them. I need to hurry up and do that. I keep forgetting. What's your question, Talkomaniac 444? What's up with the 444, by the way? I don't know. What's up, Fig Freak? Thanks for coming in, man. Appreciate you guys. We give that. I know it's Free Fig Friday order, but would you either be want to absolutely talk?
Of course.
I would love to see.
Y'all are both cute.
Why is Timber on here? I think we're gonna have to leave that one for later, right? Did you ever go overseas?
I did. I went to Iraq in 2007 and Afghanistan in 2011.
Okay. Well, how does you go to the VA, right?
Yep.
I'm not gonna whisper you after the stream, Taco Maniac 444.
Oh, Crystal's outside.
Yeah, you're gonna have to go get it. I'm doing a podcast.
Money?
I just cash out her.
Okay.
Sorry.
Are you a whore? Are you a pimp or a whore? Which one are you? Because she said money. So which one is it?
Well, a little bit of both. My Connect is here.
What is that?
My weed hookup.
Oh, so you guys aren't medicinal out there?
No, fuck. We are, but because of the job that I'm a firearms instructor, I can't have a medical marijuana card.
Oh my god, that is the stupidest thing in the world.
I agree.
Man, can you imagine rifle qualifying high? Man, I would nail shit left and right. Can you imagine how focused you would be on that shit?
Fuck, and only that shit. Like nothing else would fuck. Oh god damn it.
Your BZO would be within 30 seconds. You'd have your battle sight 0 knocked in and down. What's my windage?
Yeah, exactly. I wouldn't even need adjustments. I'd be Kentucky windaging everything and just hitting the shit out of everything. All of the people in the stream, besides like a couple, are like, "What the fuck is Kentucky windage? What the fuck are these idiots talking about?"
I know, right? When these military guys start talking and using their acronyms, I get lost. That's what's going to happen. Our downloads are going to decrease by 10,000 this month just because JP's not yawning, keeping people bored to shit while he's yawning. Have you ever seen his hands in his head? Like, have you seen how big this dude is?
Every time I love JP. JP's always been fucking cool as shit to me.
Dick.
Every time I see him on the Zoom calls, I'm just like, dude, you look like you have watermelons on the end of your wrists. Like, this is fucking insane to me.
Make him hold a regular beer. Like, it's not Andre the Giant shit, but it's close. Like, you need to make him hold like a beer can or something because it's big. And this dude can, well,
fucking
last
JP.
week's episode, Marco Polo app. It was not fun. Nasty. So, what's we're almost done here. We got like 6 minutes left. where can people find you, find the podcast? Like, what's up for you? What's next? And the top 10 tag teams, when is that going to happen?
I am going to record the top 10 tag teams tomorrow after I get done teaching this private firearm lesson that I'm teaching.
Is that why she came in? She wants to show you. She said, I need to see your gun.
Absolutely.
Oh, speaking of that. Oh, look at that.
You can find the podcast. I'm on fullpresscoverage.com, just like the Irish Whip podcast and Boot to the Face and Talkamania. You can find me on Twitter at chaos_theory pod, chaos, CHAOS_theory, THEORY pod, POD. Instagram, chaos_theory_podcast. Patreon.com/chaos theory podcast and whatamaneuver.net. Look for Chaos Theory podcast store, and I have 3 designs up there for t-shirts.
I need to get a hold of Hoop so I can get ours rolling. Because
did you see the Thunder the WCW Thunder logo?
Yeah, it's gonna happen here. So I gotta get Rucker's shirt. I gotta get yours. I gotta see if Talkamania makes one outside female sizes so I can get one of theirs.
Shit, I've got 2 of theirs and 3XL, so you're good.
It's fun, man, because when I look at, and it's the reason we hesitated, and like I told you before we came on, was there was a specific reason we hesitated before this whole coming on with Full Press and Rucker and Marty and Dez, J-Bomb. Just listen to those guys, and I still have the ad that we played on our shows when Talkamania was first starting out, and it's fun to. It's not competition for me. It's not, none of this is competition. It's just a shared brotherhood of fun guys that are putting out different products that are based on the same thing but presented in a totally different way.
Yeah, and we said it a bunch of times about the camaraderie and brotherhood you get in the military, and one of the things that you miss when you leave the military is that camaraderie and brotherhood. And with Rucker and Marty and Dez and J-Bomb and you guys, you and JP, like I found that again in RJ. I found that again. And it's like RJ. It's super dope, man. Oh, and I got to shout out this other podcast too. DDT Archives, the guy Chris.
Oh yeah, I know who he is. Yeah, absolutely.
A long discussion. Something got misunderstood between the 2 of us, and we had a long discussion. He's a really good dude. O-Face, is it the O-Face Wrestling Podcast? They're really cool. They just had an interview with Thunder Rosa. Good Cop, Bad Cop Wrestling. Sorry, I'm plugging a bunch of wrestling podcasts on your shit, but these guys deserve to have listened.
No, and the thing is we never shy away from people putting over other podcasts because it only helps the product get bigger and better, and it doesn't do anything but hurt you or harm you if you talk differently or down a different podcast, because we're different. The Irish Whip is a different taste. We're different. We're a fine wine. It takes a special palate to take us. It really does, because honestly, most of the people that listen to our podcasts are workers or associated in the business because of the way that we talk and the way that we handle it.
Yeah.
And that's what we are. We've been around long enough that we can say stupid shit that people are going to go, what the fuck? But the 3 people that are listening are going to laugh their asses off. And that's exactly why we said it, is for those 3 people, and those 3 people that matter.
Exactly.
And it's why I love listening to your show and Talkamania and Boot to the Face and RJ's, is because I get a different take on it. And a lot of views, I'd never see it that way unless I took the time to talk about other podcasts and put them out there. So we never hesitate, man. It's always good cop, bad cop. I think we're out there and we see that all the time too. So absolutely, man.
Yeah, those guys are. It's just been cool. Like there's been some bitches in the internet wrestling community where I don't deal with that. I don't have time for that negative ass energy in my life anymore. So I really, I try to fuck with people that I like. and only do shows of people that I like. And you know, you and I have been trying to hook this up for probably a month now. Just work schedule hasn't worked out, but
Yeah.
dude, it's been the last. I've only, like, to the guys who are listening, I only have 16 episodes up. It's not like I've been doing this for a couple of years. If you're a good person and you treat people with respect and you act like a human being to other people, good things will happen to you. That's why I'm on full press coverage as a brand new podcast. That's why I'm averaging a decent amount of downloads every week, because I treat people, you know, the way I feel like people deserve to be treated. And if I was a wrestler, I would absolutely be a jobber, because I have no problems putting anybody else over. I'm fine with that. If you look good and you make money, that means I look good and I make money.
Oh yeah, I'd have to have some camera time, but I tell you what, I'll sell like HBK all day long.
Yeah, I was gonna say Dolph Ziggler for me, but yeah, same thing.
I'm gonna say this to you, like he's one of my least favorite talents and workers. Worst favorite talents, hardest worker that there is in the business.
Agreed.
And I feel bad when I say that, because I look at his best friend, The Miz, and I love The Miz, but I just can't with Dolph Ziggler. And I think it's
I'm the complete opposite. I hate The Miz.
See, it's the one way or the other, right? You just look at him and you go, fuck, I hate that piece of shit. And I look at the way of Dolph, I'm like, fuck, I hate that piece of shit.
Yeah. So Boot to the Face in the chat said he sells like the immortal racist. That's a Rucker comment right there. That's a pure Rucker comment.
Dude, I appreciate your time, man. It's always fun for me, and it's been a joy for me to give away a fig with you tonight, and just to hang out, man. It's always good to be with the Denver vet and talk about weed and wrestling. I mean, that's really what it's all about.
Fuck yeah. I appreciate the opportunity to come on and say what's up to some of your listeners and maybe get some more people in my audience. And we got to do this again. I'll have you on my show, and then I'll come over and, you know, cross pollinate Chaos Theory and Irish Whip.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, before you guys go, do me a favor. I'm going to play the Masked Wrestler promo. When you guys stick around, listen and watch, but you stick around too. Again, find us anywhere your favorite podcast platform is out there, at 3 Irish Boys with a Z. Like I keep saying, like, subscribe, make sure you comment, and spread the good word.
Absolutely.
Oh my God, my videos, man. It's all good, man. I appreciate it. We're gonna cut out here. It's fun, dude. This is what it's all about. This is what you should never be ashamed to do, a podcast, because shit, cool.
In a secret location.
See?
In a secret location. 8 of America's top professional wrestlers compete in a single elimination tournament. Identities unknown. To determine or challenge for the Independent Wrestling Championship.
There's just one catch. If you're eliminated from the tournament, then you must reveal your identity.
This October, IWTV presents The Masked Wrestler.